TIFU by ejaculating in my bed. Throwaway obviously. This is a few months old but I feel like I have to get it out of my head. So I know most people masturbate in the shower or in the toilet, but I've always done it in bed. I am living with my parents, so I guess I just like the privacy of my room. Then, and this is what I now realize is me being a fucking weirdo, when it was time I would just pull up the blanket, roll over to the side a bit and come onto the wall / below the bed. I never really thought much of it and it never smelled bad, so I just kept doing it because it was easy. Nobody noticed and people seldom visited my room anyway. After some years of doing this, I recently reached a few difficult points in my life and this exacerbated my masturbation habits. I used to only masturbate like once a week or so, maybe that's why it didn't smell. But for a couple of weeks I started doing it every day, sometimes a few times a day. This usually wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary for a teenager, but since I was always ejaculating on my wall / bed, I began to get a bad cockroach infestation there. I didn't notice at first, and since I've never had cockroaches before I didn't really know what they were, but eventually I read up on the internet that cockroaches like to live in dark, moist places in the house, and that made sense. At first I felt really disgusted. I wanted to exterminate them, but I definitely didn't want my parents to find out what happened, so I tried to kill them by flicking them into a bowl of water and watching them drown. But then I felt really bad. I don't know why, but it felt like murder. I didn't really dislike the cockroaches. I had never even seen cockroaches before and they were kind of interesting. So I decided to stop killing them and kind of just let them be for like a week. At this point I finally began masturbating in the shower. I know this sounds really weird, but I kind of began thinking of them as my children. It started out as a joke thought, but then it got more serious. Like, they were literally born out of my sperm. So in my mind it made sense that they were my offspring in a way. I actually want kids when I grow up. And this was kind of like that. I used to bring them food and stuff from the kitchen and play with them by moving them around the room or letting them crawl on me, and I just got really emotionally attached to them for a while, even though they were obviously just insects. Then my parents found out. I think my dad saw one in the kitchen and immediately freaked out and called the exterminator the same day while I was at school. So we had to move out for about a week to an Airbnb, and I was really depressed the entire time, but I couldn't tell them why. They thought I just didn't like the Airbnb. TLDR, I jerked off onto the wall and got a cockroach infestation. I always question people who leave cum in the open. Now I question people who leave cum in the open and